Hey, welcome back to the channel for some more Stormgate content. And this one, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm actually having another match against someone that appeared when I was doing my vector build guide. And it ended up kind of being a funny match, but what I really want to highlight in this one is how busted hedgehogs are. They're so hard to deal with when they're in the hands of a good player like my opponent in this game, and then it's there's not enough early units, enough tier 1, tier 1.5 units, and so I just want to call some attention to this before any new patches come out. Hopefully some patches do come out and are able to introduce something more akin to the Roach or, the Adept versus Stalker versus Zealot kind of gameplay that StarCraft 2 has. These tier 1, tier 1.5 units are really lacking, and it seems like almost every game it's Argent Kree versus Gaunts, or Argent Kree versus hedgehogs, or Vectors versus Gaunts, or Vectors versus hedgehogs, and it's just very, very little diversity. The games, especially the early games, are getting repetitive, and it's hard to beat hedgehogs. So I'd like to see them nerfed, but more importantly, I'd like to see some new units come out. Anyway, let's get into the replay here. We start off with the classic triple prism. My opponent here is also going normal. Very good manners, by the way. We love to see it. This is such a kind community. I come from League of Legends, though, so it's about the lowest bar one could possibly set. Moving the arc ship over, going to be building another arc ship. If you get 11 prisms and then move it over, around the time that the arc ship lands, you're going to be able to build your second arc ship. So it's pretty typical to see at least the very first building be an arc ship. I know that a lot of the higher level guys, especially Grimmy, likes to do triple arc ship, and I think that that's a viable build as well. I don't go for it in this game, I believe, but it is a viable build. If you're playing Vanguard, as he is handfully, showcasing here, you always want to do the overcharge when you go and send your, they're not bobs anymore, the servos down. They have increased construction speed whenever they are overcharged, so that natural base comes up really quick, and you should repeat that for every single base you make, third, fourth, whatever. Anyway, he's having a pretty normal macro game here. Barracks coming up. Oh, I do go triple arc ship this game. Well, there we go. We go triple arc ship. I double expand right at the beginning. This is what I love so much about Celestial in this game. I'm actually a Zerg player in StarCraft, and my favorite part about Zerg was being able to just go out, get your creep all over the map, expand everywhere you want to expand, and then kind of having to defend on your side after your economy's built up to, come back and win. I think Celestial kind of scratches that itch for me in the sense that you can just go crazy with the expansions, and these don't cost any money, these collection arrays. There's a 60-second timer per arc ship that you create, where if it lands near a node, it will create the collection array. If you wait that 60 seconds out, sometimes it's not always the most efficient thing to do. That's why people build a first or a second. But I guess in theory, you can get your econ going with 3 arc ships and cover the entire map in like 1 more minute to have, 6 bases. And I think that's so cool. But the problem is, like I highlighted before, even though I'm going to have a sizable army, I'm up 10 supply, I'm going to be up a little bit more supply by the time he hits, I imagine. These hedgehogs, these things right here, are the bane of my existence. They have an ability where they're going to shoot rapidly and then recharge their ammo back. So if they take a couple seconds without attacking, or if they run across the map, obviously they're not attacking when they're going across the map, they're going to have kind of a rapid fire shot for 4 shots. It's a little bit hard to see, but let's see if I can't zoom in. Okay, yeah, you can see it pretty clearly here. Those 4 missiles on the back of the hedgehog, those are what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he walks away. So he got a decent chunk on this. It's almost half health, and then I got like 2 shots off on this guy, and he's obviously almost full health. And once you get a nice little army built up of hedgehogs, it's really hard to deal with, even if you're fighting around your own cannons, or in this game, Judicator nodes. Which I think a mistake I had in this game is I should have known he was going to go hedgehogs, because I face hedgehogs almost every time I face a Vanguard. And if you build the Judicator node out here, at least every time he turns the corner, he's taking free damage from the cannon. With it this far back, it's maybe better against Lancers, or I don't know, something that's going to dive in on my mineral line. But these hedgehogs, they can just come and take the fight straight up. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I was up quite a bit in supply. I'm just going to be down in supply by the time he's done with this attack, because I can't deal with the 4 hedgehogs. He can kite me forever, and it's very hard to deal with. So anyway, he's getting massive damage in, but I'm still decent in supply because of that early double expand. I've got 10 workers over here, 9 workers over here. If I can just hold on against these hedgehogs somehow, I know that I still have a chance in this game. But I don't know, he's controlling them well, kiting back and forth. My first line of Krieg come out, but my upgrade isn't quite done yet. So my Krieg don't have the rollout buff, which is kind of what you need if you want to catch up with these hedgehogs. I mean, they just live for so long. They're way faster than all my units. They do more damage than all my units, and, you know, they're tankier than Argents, and tankier than Krieg. So, they're tankier than all, they're everything more than everything of my tier 1, tier 2 units. I could build vectors, and maybe that's a more viable build. The problem is if you're going to be going a vector build, you really need to invest in Therium a little bit quicker. And it's hard to scout, so when I scanned, I didn't even see it at a mech bay yet, but if you ever do see a mech bay, I do suggest you just right away put some into Therium and start going vectors. It is also okay, I should say this before I sound really entitled. It is totally okay to lose to a build like this. I mean, he went 2 base into 1, 2, 3 mech base, constantly producing hogs. I went triple arc ship. I'm okay losing a game like that. The problem for me is when I'm just going 2 base, and then I'm rushing out my own Argents, maybe going Heaven Step build, something like that, which is supposed to do well against hedgehogs, and then I still lose to hedgehogs. I mean, they're really hard to deal with. So part of it is your opponent, I feel like, needs to make a mistake with the hedgehogs. If they're microed well, there's actually nothing you can do because they're so fast and they hit so early. And they're pretty cheap. I mean, this is half the cost of a vector, and they beat a vector. Like, 1 versus 1, if they're both microed properly, vector will win. Oh, and this is painful. He takes out my arc ship with a very quick, you know, they have their second mode where they shoot air, and yeah, it's just hard to deal with. But I build a bunch of collection chambers on the back of this. I still have huge economy compared to him. I mean, he's finally building his 3rd base, but I've been on 3 bases. I really could move to a 4th base and a 5th base if I, you know, wasn't dying. But I'm dying. I'm floating a ton of money. I can't get any of my production going because he's just taking my entire base over. And every time my Krees do come out, they do have the upgrade now, so you'll see they'll trade a bit better into the hedgehogs, but really the damage has kind of already been done. He's up 30 supply. I could GG out at any time. I think it'd be a fair thing, but I decided to keep going a little longer, see how much I could really give it. Maybe I can come back into this game. I'm just doing this to block off his route. I didn't want him getting back here and then just taking out my last 4 production structures. I don't know if it mattered as much, but that is a cute trick. You can do it anywhere on the map with the arc ships if you're just floating, you know, the 300 minerals like I was in that moment. I have had fights before, especially over here, where they are playing with, you know, it's more common against Infernal, but they have a bunch of these melee units that are trying to get through here, and I'll put my arc ship here, and I'll just fight in this choke right here, and then, you know, chokes are really good when you have the ranged units against the melee units, which is just a classic RTS theme, I suppose. But now is where I'm thinking I'm really making a mistake. These come out, and killing that is fine, but what I should have done with these three is I should have came over here and just started catching reinforcements. I think I do that with these that come out. I'm going to send them over here and start catching reinforcements. If I have 6 Kree kind of grabbing a bunch of stragglers coming across the map, at least it opens up an opportunity for him to make a mistake, not microing the ones coming across the map. But it is what it is, you know. At this point, the game's completely over. I'm about to GG out, but I have to give hats off to my opponent. He played very well. I think we make a couple more comments in the game. He says hedgehogs are broken. I say hedgehogs are broken. I tell him he played really well, and then and then the game's over. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They're super hard to deal with, even fighting into just like 4 cannons and a couple Krees with half-health hedgehogs. It doesn't, I mean, the cannons don't do enough damage, especially in big groups. They're pretty terrible. They just run out of energy. Also true, hogs do give me nightmares. I need this unit to get fixed. But anyway, yeah, that's the game. I GG out here in a couple seconds later. But tons of fun. Triple Arcship is viable. Don't let this game fool you. Just because I lost with it doesn't mean it's a bad build. I know a lot of the high-level players are playing Triple Arcship right now. So anyway, just thought that I would showcase a game and yap a little bit about hedgehogs.